video provides visual instructions on how to set up, operate, and troubleshoot the Fluent fluid management system for MyoSure and hysteroscopic procedures. As with any Hologic device, please consult the instructions for use for complete contraindications, warnings, precautions, and detailed operating requirements. Note that this video does not include instructions for first-time setup. Rather, it assumes the system has already been unpackaged and configured. The Fluent system incorporates customer feedback regarding Hologic's Aqualex system and was designed to be simpler than many other fluid management products on the market today. So one of the first things you'll notice about the Fluent system is that it has fewer components than many other systems. On the front of the Fluent system, you'll see, from top to bottom, a fluid bag pole with 2 hooks to hang up to 6 liters of fluid. Perhaps our most noteworthy component, a touchscreen graphical user interface that allows clinicians to configure, monitor, and adjust the system under the guidance of simple graphical instructions. The touchscreen provides step-by-step troubleshooting instructions, an inflow pack cartridge port, and outflow pack cartridge port, connectors for the MyoSure tissue removal device, or TRD, and the MyoSure foot pedal, waist bag hooks, and large durable wheels that make transporting the system simple. Wheel locks maintain the position of the wheels to keep them from moving or rotating during procedures. Turn the Fluent system around and you'll see a convenient handle to move and position the system, and a basket for storage. The on-off switch, a power port to connect the power cord, and mount points to hang the storage basket. Just like the system itself, Fluent's disposables used during procedures have been designed to be streamlined and simplified. No more multiple canisters, connectors, and excessive tubing. Now, with the Fluent system, a single all-in-one disposable procedure kit includes color-coded, easy-to-install inflow pack and outflow pack cartridges with integrated tissue trap intended to reduce assembly steps and setup errors, and a 6-liter waste bag designed to simplify setup and reduce staff exposure to medical waste without sacrificing disposal flexibility. Setting up the Fluent system requires just a few steps, all of which are clearly illustrated on the touchscreen. When the circulator powers up the system, the touchscreen displays a graphic of the system with the required setup areas highlighted with a yellow circle. As each setup step is successfully completed, the yellow circle turns green, signifying the step is complete. When all 4 yellow circles are green, the circulator will be able to press Next on the screen, at which time the prime screen is displayed. The circulator hangs up to 6 liters of fluid from the IV pole with distension media appropriate for the procedure. Note that for Hologic's MyoSure procedure, isotonic irrigation fluids must be used, such as saline and lactated Ringer's solution. The circulator opens the Fluent procedure kit package, sets the non-sterile waste bag aside, and peels back the sterile seal to open the Fluent inflow pack and outflow pack cartridges. The sterile scrub tech removes the outflow pack and inflow pack cartridges and places them on a sterile surface. Next, the circulator hangs the waste bag on the hanger at the bottom of the Fluent system. The system should display a green check mark when the bag is properly hung. A couple important points here. Only one waste bag should be hung at a time. The outflow pack cartridge tubing that connects to the waste bag contains an inline tissue trap designed to capture resected tissue throughout the procedure, so it can be sent to pathology for testing. The circulator then fastens the blue Fluent inflow pack cartridge, which pulls clean fluid from the fluid bag, to the blue inflow pack cartridge port. Once securely in place, signified by a green check mark on the touchscreen, the circulator clamps and spikes the fluid bag. If only one bag is being attached, the circulator should clamp the unused spike. Next, a sterile scrub tech connects the hysteroscope inflow tube, which has a blue band adjacent to the Luer lock connector, to the hysteroscope inflow channel. Next comes the Fluent outflow pack cartridge, which drains waste fluid from the outflow channel, the MyoSure TRD tube, and the under-buttock drape tube into the waste bag. The circulator snaps the outflow pack cartridge onto the yellow outflow pack cartridge port. Once securely in place, again signified by a green check mark on the touchscreen, 3 other components are connected. The sterile scrub tech connects the outflow tube, which has a yellow band adjacent to the Luer lock connector, to the hysteroscope outflow channel. The circulator connects the waste tube connector to the waste bag opening. This connection has the tissue trap. This is a press-on cap, and the tubing must be facing upwards. And the under-buttock drape tube to the under-buttock drape port. With both the blue inflow pack cartridge and yellow outflow pack cartridge and associated tubing connected, the circulator selects Next on the touchscreen. The inflow pack and outflow pack cartridges will lock into place. At this point, the circulator should unclamp the inflow clamp on one of the bags. If a MyoSure procedure is being performed, the circulator connects the foot pedal and the drive cable to the connector on the front panel of the Fluent system. Then, using both hands, the circulator brings the green MyoSure TRD connector to the Fluent outflow pack cartridge green outer port and connects it to the outflow port of the MyoSure TRD. The new design and touchscreen of the Fluent fluid management system was designed to make operations simple and efficient for clinicians. Before a procedure is performed, or if the doctor changes hysteroscopes, the Fluent system must be primed to purge air from the tubing. Note that small scopes might take a bit longer to prime because it takes more time to remove air and move fluid through the tube. To prime the system, the circulator should begin by confirming the Fluent inflow pack and outflow pack cartridges are properly connected and the fluid bag clamp is open. The clinician or sterile scrub tech opens the blue hysteroscope inflow channel and makes sure the yellow hysteroscope outflow channel is closed. The clinician or sterile scrub tech then aims the hysteroscope into the under-buttocks drape at patient height, and the circulator touches Prime on the touchscreen. The system will then purge air from the tubing. Selecting Pause on the touchscreen stops the priming. Unpausing causes the priming sequence to start from the beginning. When the Prime Complete screen appears, the circulator simply selects Next on the touchscreen. Note that if priming into the under-buttocks drape, the deficit does not need to be re-zeroed. However, if priming occurred outside of the under-buttocks drape, the deficit needs to be zeroed out. The Fluent system's pressure can be adjusted from 40 to 120 millimeters of mercury. The circulator should set the uterine cavity distension pressure to the lowest level necessary to distend the uterine cavity and maintain the level below the patient's mean arterial pressure. To adjust the pressure, the circulator selects the Change button in the pressure circle and uses the up and down controls to change the setting. When the appropriate setting is reached, the circulator accepts the Accept icon to confirm. After priming, the Fluent system sets the deficit to 800 milliliters, which is its default, but it can be adjusted from 100 to 2500 milliliters in increments of 50 milliliters. Adjusting the deficit limit follows a similar process to that of adjusting the pressure. The circulator selects the Change button from the deficit limit circle, changes the deficit by using the up and down controls or by selecting a pre-populated setting, and then selects the Accept icon. Note that the system's pressure and deficit limit settings can be changed even while the system is running. After priming and setting the pressure and deficit limit, the Fluent system is ready. The circulator selects Run from the touchscreen, and the doctor can perform the hysteroscopy or the MyoSure procedure. During the procedure, the circulator might need to replace the fluid bag, waste bag, tissue trap, or hysteroscope. A supply bag warning banner appears when it's time to replace the fluid bag. When the banner appears, the circulator hangs the new bag on either hook. Any size bag may be used, but the maximum weight for the hook is 6 liters of fluid. Inserts a spike into the bag port. Opens the clamp on the spiked bag. The empty bag does not need to be removed. To replace the waste bag, the circulator pauses the system on the touchscreen, removes the outflow tubing cap from the waste bag, screws the waste bag cap into the waste bag opening, removes the waste bag from the hooks and discards according to facility protocols. Hangs the new bag by placing both outer rings on both hooks. The bag should sit clearly in hook notches. Connects outflow tubing from the yellow outflow pack cartridge to the waste bag opening. When training clinicians, be sure to emphasize that they press firmly to ensure a strong connection with the soft bag, but to be gentle on the hooks, and resumes the procedure on the touchscreen. To replace the tissue trap, the circulator pauses the system on the touchscreen, opens the tissue trap holder lid, removes the tissue trap and places it into a pathology container, places a new tissue trap into the tissue trap holder, closes the tissue trap holder lid securely, and resumes the procedure on the touchscreen. The Fluent system also allows clinicians to change hysteroscopes during the procedure. The circulator should reprime the Fluent system any time a change in hysteroscopes is made by pausing the system, pressing the Reprime 0 button, and pressing Reprime. Note that the Fluent system should never be reprimed while any scope is in the patient's body. When the procedure is complete, the circulator selects the End button on the touchscreen. The system displays a message to confirm that the procedure is truly complete. When the circulator selects Yes to confirm, the system will display a procedure complete screen that shows the metrics from the case, including total deficit, volume used, volume collected, ending pressure, and cutting time. The system will also continue to run in order to return any excess fluid for an accurate deficit. When the clinician is satisfied that all the excess fluid has been removed, the circulator selects Done to stop the system. It is now safe to remove the Fluent outflow pack cartridge and disassemble the remaining components. The summary screen with the procedure's results will remain displayed during this time. At this point, system breakdown can begin. The circulator disconnects the cap and the outflow tubing from the waste bag, removes the tissue trap holder on the outflow pack tubing to access resected tissue, screws on the cap and removes the waste bag, disconnects tube sets from the hysteroscope, disposes of flow pack cartridges and waste bag according to the hospital's procedures, and turns off and unplugs the system. This section provides guidance on how to troubleshoot common hysteroscopic-related issues that do not necessarily relate to the Fluent fluid management system. One of the most noticeable features of the Fluent fluid management system is the way the touchscreen provides support and guides users through troubleshooting steps using intuitive, highly graphical instructions. At any time during setup or during a procedure, a circulator can utilize the touchscreen to access on-screen prompts that walk users through a variety of common tasks and how to resolve notifications and messages. To display help for a particular component, circulators simply select the question mark Help button or the particular area within the yellow circle on the screen. If suction is low during a procedure, the doctor or medical staff should ensure the hysteroscope outflow tubing is fastened securely on the hysteroscope. The under-buttock drape tubing is fastened securely on the drape, and the outflow tubing is fastened securely on the outflow port. If doctors are experiencing poor visualization during a procedure, the doctor or medical staff should verify the fluid bag clamp is open. Per the clinician's instructions, adjust the intrauterine pressure to provide a tamponade effect. Ensure the outflow stopcock is fully open. If performing a MyoSure procedure, clear the field of vision by advancing the MyoSure tissue removal device to the fundus and allowing circulation of fluid through the blade. If doctors notice poor uterine distension, the doctor or medical staff should avoid overdilation of the cervix. If the cervix is overdilated, they should use a second tenaculum to seal the cervix. Verify the fluid bag clamp is open. Ensure the pressure setting is adequate. Ensure the inflow tubing is not occluded or pinched. If doctors are having cutting issues with the MyoSure tissue removal device, the doctor or medical staff should ensure the MyoSure TRD is fully inserted into the Fluent fluid management system. Orient the MyoSure TRD cutting window against the tissue when the foot pedal is activated. If there is any flashing from the scope, it means the window is not directly over the tissue. Ensure the outflow tubing is not occluded or pinched. Avoid bending the MyoSure tissue device handle. If the Fluent fluid management system powers down unexpectedly, the circulator should leave it off for 15 seconds. Restart the system and follow on-screen prompts. The system will always display the last recorded deficit. In a normal state, the system will need to be reprimed and the procedure can be resumed. This concludes the setup, operation, and troubleshooting video on the Fluent fluid management system. Again, for complete contraindications, warnings, precautions, and instructions, refer to the Fluent system's instructions for use.